Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 worst lip syncs on RuPaul's Drag Race. For this list, we'll be looking at the messiest, most boring, and saddest lip-syncing battles from RuPaul's original series that severely missed the mark. We're not exclusively limiting our picks to performances where both queens underperformed. Anything that's subpar overall qualifies. Since eliminations will be discussed, a spoiler alert is now in effect. Which of these performances had you cringing? Let us know in the comments. Number 20, Delta Work vs. Mariah Paris Balenciaga. A good lip sync has flair, emotion, and lips that actually sync up with the lyrics. Unfortunately for her, Mariah failed to deliver on that last one. In her standoff with Delta, the queen served attitude and glamour, but her knowledge of the music fell short.
Mariah doesn't know her words too well, but Delta's hitting like every word.
She tried to fake it until she made it by pulling out one of the oldest tricks in the book.
I knew most of the words to the lip sync song, but there was some gaps, so I'm gonna make up something. Fill in the gaps, bitch, with elephant shoe, honey.
However, her colorful vocabulary fooled no one. Without the right words, Mariah's performance didn't go over well. In the end, her mistakes got her asked to sashay away. Number 19, Pheromone vs. Cynthia Lee Fontaine. These two queens tried, and that's the best we can say about this performance.
Put your favorite heels on, 'cause they make you feel strong.
Some might argue that the song choice didn't give the competitors a lot to work with, but still. Cynthia resorted to stripping, which had potential in theory, but didn't really work. Farrah's showing wasn't bad, but it also wasn't good. In the end, neither girl quite womaned up on stage, even with singer Meghan Trainor present as a guest judge. Ultimately though, an injury sent another queen, Eureka O'Hara, home.
You need time to heal. And in good conscience, I cannot allow you to continue in the competition.
Therefore, both members of the bottom two were permitted to stay. Number 18, Pearl vs. Miss Fame. Tensions were already high between Pearl and Miss Fame, so their bottom two face-off seemed like it would be a fierce showdown.
I hate that we had to have this energy, but I have to fight to be here, and I hope and pray that I get to stay.
But with an oversized dress covering her body, Miss Fame's moves looked stilted in comparison to Pearl's. Though Pearl wasn't high energy per se, Fame's slow moves were disheartening to watch. Even with the funny middle fingers and some wild arm dancing, this lip sync felt boring next to Drag Race's usually ecstatic performances. While Miss Fame's parting words had a star level of humor, her lackluster showing here just wasn't up to par for the late stage of the competition. Number 17, Milan vs. Madame LaQueer. Trouble was what Madame LaQueer was in for when she performed a lip sync with unimaginative choreography. Her opponent, Milan, pulled out all the stops, undressing and whipping around the stage.
I am really trying to deliver the goods that a drag superstar should deliver.
Meanwhile, the queen donning lime green relied a little too heavily on a single move.
And Madame is just a pointing queen. She's a pointer sister.
Both contestants were swinging their hair around by the end of the song. The value of wigs coming off during a drag show is up for debate, but we can all agree that Madame's moves fell short. Maybe she needed someone to point her in the right direction. Number 16, Shangela vs. Venus Delight. As the right stuff played behind them, Shangela and Venus Delight kicked off a fun and bouncy lip sync.
Just out, stop the driver of a limousine, and asked if I was going far.
Venus delivered exciting dancing on and off the stage, but her words about fighting for the crown got frighteningly real. Her shoves and improvised chokers created an unbelievably violent atmosphere on the stage, which also kept her from truly performing. After all the drastic fighting, Venus's wig throw was borderline comedic too. Though Shangela tried to maintain some composure, her own wacky costume changes only worked as a way to mock Ms. Delight.
The lip syncing is starting to get a little violent.
This lack of conduct and respect for personal boundaries showed audiences that Venus definitely had the wrong stuff.
Shangela's doing what she's supposed to be doing. She's supposed to be lip syncing and performing, and Venus is just really pouncing on her.
Number 15, Willem Belli versus Jiggly Caliente. This pick is interesting because you can tell both contestants gave a decent effort. However, the performance itself just didn't work. Mi Vida Loca by Pam Tillis probably wasn't the easiest song choice. Jiggly for sure wasn't a fan, and you could tell because her dance moves felt stiff and unnatural.
God damn, you couldn't give me a Lil' Kim song?
Meanwhile, Willem did a fine job, but it was nothing spectacular. Together, the queens underwhelmed us on the whole. With it being her third time on the chopping block, it's not surprising that Jiggly was sent home. When it came down to it, she just wasn't able to save herself by lip syncing for her life.
Now, sashay away.
Thank you so much. I love you.
Number 14, Naomi Smalls versus Acid Betty.
The time has come for you to lip sync for your life.
You would think a performance that has one contestant stripping down to her underwear and another simulating birth would be interesting. However, this last chance lip sync was kind of boring. Naomi's performance wasn't bad, but she relied too much on her outfit or lack thereof. Meanwhile, Acid Betty's natal display was anticlimactic. Instead of kooky and campy, she was awkward and clunky. She may have given life to an imaginary baby, but she didn't give any to us. In the end, it was the trippy queen who was asked to sashay away. Number 13, Tammy Brown versus Akasha. Tammy was the first queen to find out what happens when you don't move your lips during a lip sync. Without opening her mouth, she awkwardly danced around her side of the stage, flailing her arms about.
If I had the song down, it would have been better, but I didn't have the song down. And I had made the decision before I went on stage today that I was gonna not do that song if it happened to me.
Meanwhile, her opponent Akasha's performance matched the energy, not to mention the lyrics of the song. The first season often feels different from newer ones, but one thing has been the same from the start. Keeping your mouth shut when you're told to lip sync is a quick way to get sent home.
I never thought we'd see you go out like this, Tammy.
Number 12, Kenya Michaels versus Latrice Royale. Sometimes a comedic take on a song works, and other times it's more embarrassing than anything. Strapped with a fake pregnant stomach, Kenya looked wild, leaping and twirling around the stage. She didn't help herself when she removed her wig. The flouncy routine came off more desperate than impressive, especially compared to Latrice's calm confidence.
I'm no longer doubtful of what I'm living for. And if I make you happy, I don't need to do more.
Bearing a faux baby bump of her own, the latter queen's passionate tribute to her imaginary child was a great interpretation of Aretha Franklin's "You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman." Kenya never really had a chance, but we did get some giggles out of her performance. Number 11, Naysha Lopez versus Layla McQueen. Not all lip sync showings are created equal. On one hand, Layla did a pretty good job with this performance. Her dance moves were confident and exciting, and she incorporated plenty of floor work. Dressed in a post-apocalyptic outfit with dark makeup, her look was also perfect considering the song was Lady Gaga's Applause. On the other hand, Naysha's arm-heavy choreography didn't translate.
Naysha's dancing like a soccer mom. You can get the ball in the goal, kids! You can do it!
Instead of being interesting, her routine was disjointed. It's obvious the glamorous queen was going for something inspired by Mother Monster. However, her dancing was a bit too tame. Naysha looked beautiful, but in this competition, that's not enough. Number 10, Kimora Black versus James Mansfield. This performance ended up looking like a poorly rehearsed tribute to the B-52s. Even with the musicians present, the contestants failed to bring their A games while lip-syncing for their lives to Love Shack. Overall, the energy was sorely lacking, and the choreography was uninspired. The only thing impressive about the showing is how well the queens happened to coordinate with each other. Both dressed in white, they poorly executed drops to the floor one after another. It's a coin toss determining who was worse. James was ultimately asked to leave, but it could have gone either way. Number 9, Plastique Tiara versus Raja O'Hara versus Sugarcane versus Akira C. Davenport versus Honey Davenport versus Scarlet Envy.
Y'all need to step your pussy up. For the first time in Drag Race history, all of you will be lip-syncing for your lives.
Oh my god.
Rather than narrowing things down to a bottom 2 in season 11, RuPaul shockingly put all 6 of the bottom queens against each other. As so many queens tried to grab attention, their routines were chaotic but exciting. Though Honey Davenport stood still for so long that she looked lazy and boring. Honey's stage leap was also awkward enough to leave Ru with a scowl, and her crawls looked even more desperate. While there were poor wig reveals in the mix too, it was Honey's flailing choreography that deservedly got her eliminated that night. Number 8, Vivienne Pinay versus Honey Mahogany. Despite their poor offerings in a ballet challenge, both Honey Mahogany and Vivienne Pinay boasted about their abilities going into the bottom 2.
I can sing live and then really able to deliver a lip sync. This competition is mine.
It was hard not to cringe at this confidence, however, as both contestants stumbled their way through the lip sync like zombies. With their lethargic movements, it was more entertaining to watch the judges' bored faces during the routine. And this was to Oops, I Did It Again, so there was no excuse for them to be so bland. Honey's last-minute burst of emotions only looked worse as a result.
They're both lacking energy. It's Britney Spears. Bring it.
After this lazy face-off, it wasn't even that jarring that RuPaul eliminated both queens for the first time ever.
I'm sending you both home. I'm sorry, my dears. Neither one of you showed me the fire it takes to stay.
Number 7, Dax exclamation point versus Layla McQueen. The trash talk was fierce going into Dax and Layla's bottom 2 duel, so you'd expect them to throw themselves into the music.
I'm pretty confident I can definitely beat Layla. Sorry, I forgot her name for a second.
Despite their dramatic openings, the rest of their lip sync to I Will Survive was reserved and unenthusiastic.
If I'd have known for just 1 second, you'd be back to bother me. Oh, now go!
Heck, even guest judge Jamal Sims looked more excited about the song than either queen on stage. Power moves like splits were notably sloppy, and outfit removals were anticlimactic to say the least. The mix of smug attitude and underwhelming energy was frustrating to watch, and got both queens eliminated. And given how well the judges explained the song's importance, this kind of reservation was a huge misstep.
Neither one of you survived that lip sync. I must ask you both to sashay away.
Number 6, Trinity the Tuck versus Charlie Hides. After their talk show skits disappointed the judges, Trinity the Tuck and Charlie Hides had one of the most lopsided lip syncs in Drag Race history.
Lately, I've been stuck imagining what I wanna do and what I really think.
Trinity went all out from the start, and she flipped enough to have the judges screaming and laughing endlessly. Charlie, on the other hand, planted herself to the extent that her fellow queens were screaming at her to move.
Charlie, let's go!
Her I give up attitude was disrespectful to Trinity's efforts and the competition as a whole.
Trinity is selling the song. Charlie, on the other hand, it looks like she's telling children to get off her lawn.
With such a top-notch lip sync from Trinity, Charlie's excuses only added to how shameful her lip sync came off to audiences.
I'm not a lip sync performer. 99% of the acts in London sing live. So I just need Ru to say it and sashay away.
Number 5, Penetration versus Serena Chacha.
I hopped up the plane at LAX with a dream, my cardigan. Welcome to the land of fame excess. Am I gonna fit in?
Both contestants pulled classic drag queen tricks during this lip sync for your life. While Serena's worked in her favor, Penny's were more transparent. Like many before her, the queen wearing green sank into the splits and wowed her fellow contestants.
Now, I know this is every girl's old faithful, but she did it the right way.
Meanwhile, her competitor continued to turn away from the judges in an attempt to hide the fact that she hadn't mastered the words to Miley Cyrus's Party in the USA.
You know, that's an old school drag queen trick. When you don't know the words, turn around, do something to distract them.
Penny tried her best, but it's hard to come back from not knowing the correct lyrics. The fatal mistake caused her to be the first girl sent home in season 5. Number 4, Valentina versus Nina Bonina Brown. Valentina was one of the dominating queens on season 9 of Drag Race, so it was surprising to see her cover her face in a lip sync. Despite her otherwise solid dancing against Nina Bonina Brown, Valentina's mask caused the judges to unexpectedly reset the battle.
Valentina, this is a lip sync for your life. We need to see your lips. Take that thing off of your mouth.
I'd like to keep it on, please.
Her lack of actual lip syncing dragged the performance down, as Nina strutted circles around her. While it was unprofessional for Valentina to forget her words, it was more upsetting to watch considering how talented she'd been on the show.
Oh, she doesn't know the words.
And by messing up such an essential part of Drag Race, Valentina's mistake was a standout.
Valentina, I thought you had the stuff to go all the way. Now, sashay away.
Number 3, Cameron Michaels versus Asia O'Hara.
Ladies, this is your last chance to impress me and save yourself from elimination.
The finals of RuPaul's Drag Race are supposed to showcase the best of the best, but things don't go as planned for Asia O'Hara's props. Cameron Michaels turns it out in her kimono-like top to Janet Jackson's Nasty, strutting all over the stage. Meanwhile, Asia sadly stays in place with her butterfly-adorned top, just to reveal some living insects too. Though flying creatures could be a stunning visual, the butterfly's lack of energy, and possibly not being alive anymore, completely deflate Asia's performance. With Cameron's ecstatic costume reveals, O'Hara looks gimmicky and lazy by comparison. And given how derivative Asia's reveals are of Sasha Velour's pedal dance, Nasty feels like the best way to describe this lip sync. Number 2, Mimi I'm First versus India Farah. Despite the memo from RuPaul about brawling on stage only episodes prior, Mimi I'm First treated her lip sync with India like a wrestling match. Mimi's theatrical antics went from entertaining to rude as she pushed in front of her opponent like a needy child. While India kept a suave face on, her step off the stage reflected just how outlandish she had to be to deal with Mimi. But when Mimi actually lifted India, she turned the showdown into an uncomfortable altercation filled with unnerving screams.
What the hell is she thinking? You can't be lifting up drag queens.
This rash behavior torpedoed Mimi's already cringeworthy dance, but at least it inspired some hilarious commentary from Ru.
Mimi, I'm first. Drag is not a contact sport.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Silky Nutmeg Ganache versus Nina West. By episode 11 of any season of Drag Race, the lip syncs should be jaw-dropping.
I don't want your number, no. I don't wanna give you mine, and no, I don't wanna meet you nowhere.
So it's embarrassing to watch as Nina West and Silky Nutmeg Ganache groove like they have 2 left feet. Nina's choreography is full of weird shimmies and she barely moves anywhere.
Nina looks like a little Christmas bear that you press the button, they move like this. She just a thumb. And then Silk like a walrus out of water. And good now, you just are flopping across these people's stage.
Though Silky creatively uses the back of the stage, she hilariously struggles over her own outfit. Silky's wig reveal feels clumsy, and all of her power moves come off like she's trying them for the first time. Ru is visibly off-put throughout the whole song, so her unenthused notes are comically satisfying. This lip sync is so laughably bad, however, due to the constant mistakes and minimal effort of both queens.
Ladies, I've made my decision. Meh.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.